A lot of people think you need all of this fancy new AI software to get clients with cold email in 2025, but that could not be any farther from the truth. In fact, we were able to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for our clients without using much AI at all. And in this video, I'll show you how you can get clients for yourself using cold email in 2025. And make sure you watch the video all the way through because I give away some of the best performing scripts that we've gotten that you can plug in immediately into your business to go ahead and book yourself some meetings. So let's get right into it. Okay, so here is how you get clients for cold email in 2025. I'm going to walk you step by step on how you can actually sign clients, book yourself some meetings, and send out thousands of cold emails every single day, right? So let's get right into it. You're just going to need a few tools. You're going to need Smartly to send out the outreach messages, obviously. You're going to need Apollo or Outscraper to actually get the data. Apollo is more for if you're targeting LinkedIn, if your ideal customers are on databases like LinkedIn, but if they're targeting more local businesses, I recommend something like Outscraper, where it can pull like local plumbers, HVAC, pest control, that type of thing. You're going to also need ChatGPT to do some market research, and then you're going to need Million Verifier to verify the emails, right? So let's get started with the infrastructure itself. So what I mean by infrastructure is what are the sending providers that we're going to be using, right? So inside Smartly, you can actually set up email accounts and buy domains. So it's super simple, super easy now, because back in the day, you had to actually manually buy the domains, manually set up the email accounts. But now I recommend for all you beginners, to have the easiest way to actually send out cold emails is just do it inside Smartly itself. And here's the split that I want you to do, where you have 75% of your emails in Google and 25% on Outlook. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but this is about the split that I want you to run, because right now Google is the king, right? In terms of deliverability, Google's the one where we're inboxing the most with. Google is sending out the best amount of emails, but in the future, Outlook might come back and Google might shit the bed, and Outlook might be the king again. Because I can tell you, this time last year, Google was not that good and Outlook was good. But now the roles are reversed, where Google is good and Outlook is bad, right? But it's always ever changing, right? So what I want you to do is go on Smartly and buy 14 domains. Out of those 14 domains, you're gonna have 2 email accounts per domain. And then let's say if you're following that 75 to 25 split, 21 of those email accounts are going to be Gmail, 7 of them are going to be Outlook. Then once you've bought all of them, you're just going to wait 2 weeks to warm up. So what I mean by warming up is that obviously if you just buy those accounts and you immediately start sending out 20 or 30 messages a day, Google and Microsoft will be like, okay, this guy literally just bought his email account and he's already sending out all these messages. This guy has to be a spammer. Like, there's no way. That does not sound like a human, right? Because the easiest way to actually succeed with cold email, or one of the biggest frameworks that I want you to think of when succeeding with cold email, is how can I sound like a human, right? That's more of a copywriting thing, but this also applies when it comes to deliverability, right? If you were to immediately start sending out 20 to 30, 50 messages the first day that you bought your email account, that does not sound like a human, right? That's not what like an average human would do, right? So that's why Google and Microsoft will just mark you as spam, because you don't sound like a human. you sound that just like looks like robotic behavior, right? So that's the first thing with infrastructure. Buy Google, buy Outlook, follow this split here, and then wait 2 weeks for the warm-up process to finish. While you're waiting those 2 weeks for the warm-up process to finish, you can actually get into the second step, which is the ICP, aka Ideal Customer Profile Creation, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to think and write this on paper or Google Docs, wherever it may be. Think about these 5 things about your ideal customer, right? And the reason why you this is very important is because if you can figure this out, and if you can actually write to one specific type of persona of a person, your cold emails will be super easy to write to, right? Imagine you're writing cold emails to, let's say, CMOs of any industry, no matter what, right? They all are CMOs, yes, but they're all depending on their level of the company, or how long they've been at the company, or what type of industry that they're in. Some of them might be running paid ads, some of them might be doing SEO, some of them might be doing Google ads, some of them might just be doing like YouTube content. So like there's different levels of it, right? But if you're writing to, let's say, CMOs of insurance companies with 50 employees to 100 employees, then it'll be a lot easier because you're writing to one specific ideal customer profile, or there's one specific persona of a person, right? Because you know exactly what the struggles are of a CMO at that level, or you don't know, but like you can figure out by doing market research, which I'll show you later on. But you can figure out what their struggles are. You know, okay, here's what's common in their industry. Here's usually how they get their type of customers or their type of clients, and here's what they usually deal with. Here's usually their desires, right? So that second option is a lot better because you'll be able to easily write your cold emails because it's more specific and more targeted, right? And that's all we're trying to do here. Just make it very specific so that we can write to one specific type of persona. That way your emails will be super easy to write, right? And the 5 things that I look at or we look at our agency is job title, industry, employee, headcount, geography, and technology. So for example, we could be targeting CTO, home service, a CTO of a home services company with 1150 employees in the US using Webflow, right? That's just an example. That's the job title, that's the industry, that's the employee headcount, that's where, geographically where they're located, and Webflow. And what I want you to do is don't sleep on this last thing in technology, right? If you can put this on Apollo, and there's a lot of them, you can actually write some pretty good cold email campaigns. So for example, this, to give you some background, this client that we had, they are a warehouse management software. So what we did was we scraped their competitor and anybody using their competitor, and we reached out to them saying, hey, you know, other warehouse software solutions, such as the software that they're currently using, has this specific thing wrong with them. We offer a similar solution, but our solution is different because we do this, this, and this. Are you open to seeing a demo, right? And what we did was that he actually was like, yes, the guy that we booked the call with, he's like, yeah, I'm interested. I'm already using the software, but I'm curious to see how you guys are different, how you're better, right? And then send him the information. He hopped on the call, and then boom, just like that, close. So don't sleep on that last thing of the technology because that last part is actually very important. If you know what technology your customers are using, you can again write to that specific persona, and it'll be a lot easier to actually write to those emails. So the more specific you are, the better, right? So with that said, you're going to scrape using Apollo or Outscraper. Apollo, again, if you're targeting companies who are, if you're targeting people who you know are on LinkedIn, so think like agency owners, software people, financial people, anything corporate-ish, they're on Apollo. If it's more like local B2B, like plumbers, HVAC, even some dentists, dental clinics, chiropractors, that type of thing, you can scrape them using Outscraper. So you're just going to create this for your ideal customers, and then you're going to scrape using Apollo and Outscraper, right? And again, this next part here, where I'm talking to you about market research, is very, very important because if you can understand your target market's pain points and desires, the copywriting part becomes so easy because you know exactly what they desire, what they want. Anyways, like I was saying, if you can do this, this is very, very important because you'll be able to write to one specific persona, and you can basically use your offer as a bridge to their pain points or desires. So let me explain how, right? So first, there's 3 ways you could do this. I'm just going to go over the ChatGPT method, but these other 2 are also extremely good. So first is obviously you can use ChatGPT, which I'll show you here in a little bit. Second thing you can do is actually you can talk to your current customers, right? So talk to your current clients, talk to your current customers and say, hey, what made you want to buy? Like what was the different, or like what was your thought process going on when you wanted to buy our software or our solution or our services, right? What pain points were you dealing with? What did you want to get out of working with us, right? And obviously you don't have to be like as professional as that if you're closer to them, but like just ask them like what made them want to buy, what pain points were they dealing with, what desires did they have before using us, and then you can literally you can do market research by just talking to somebody and talking to your customers and then asking them what they were struggling with before, and then that is basically going to be the foundation in which you build your emails upon. Because if they were dealing with that problem, more than likely the people that you're trying to reach out to are also dealing with that problem, right? So you can get super specific by just asking your current customers. Or the other thing is you can get in the communities where your ideal customers are. So for example, a few years ago, we were running cold emails for B2B commercial insurance, right? Which is like basically insurance to construction companies, right? And what we did was we got into Facebook groups of construction companies in the New York City area. My client at the time, they wanted to work with New York City contractors and construction companies, but we got into cities where New York, it was New York City construction and contractors. And once we got in there, we asked the construction, we just asked around like, hey, what insurance are you guys using right now? What's like the, how is it going? Like, is it good? Is it bad? And then they'll tell us, like, oh, like the coverage isn't good or the rates are really high or whatever it may be. Then what we did was we used that information that we got from being in that community or group, and then we sent it. We use that in our cold emails, and then we use that ammo in our cold emails to send it out to insurance companies, leveraging the same things that they said, right? So these two are extremely powerful. Obviously, I'm not going to go in super in depth on how to do this because this is more of a personal thing that you can do. But for this part, I'm just going to show you the ChatGPT method, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go into ChatGPT. You can copy this verbatim. Shout out to Christian Placienza on YouTube and LinkedIn for giving me this prompt. This is a fantastic prompt that we've been using, right? So you're going to be like, hey, you're an outbound expert that operates a lead generation agency. One of your outbound clients is for this company, and you're going to put your company name here where the blank is, and they work with this type of industry, right? So just all you have to do is copy paste this prompt, change out the website here, and then put your industry, and then you're gonna ask it, please answer the following questions to help us uncover this messaging. How did they benefit? What pain points did they have? What unique advantages did they receive? And it's gonna give you this entire laundry list full of things, and you can even be like, go more in detail, explain in detail, or explain more, right? And it's gonna give you an entire laundry list of things to where you have all this information basically available to you. And this is insane amount of ammo that you can have in your cold emails. Like, this is extremely, extremely good when you're writing cold emails, because now you understand, how do they benefit? This is basically good for offer. What pain points should it have? Well, how are you unique compared to everybody else offering the same thing? So for example, if you are, let's say, an SEO agency, which this client was, how will they stand out? How are they different than every other SEO agency in the market, right? And then what specific end result what they want? This is like really good for offer itself, right? So this prompt or this thing itself is fantastic, right? So you can just do this, and what you're gonna do is write all of this stuff down, because it's gonna come help you in the future when you're writing cold emails, right? And again, write down all the pain points and then desires and vernacular that they use, and use them to formulate an offer, right? So that's the second step. Then finally, in terms of copywriting itself, what you're going to do is you're going to create an offer that's relevant to their pain points and desires. So again, the reason why that last step is very important is because you can extract the exact pain points and desires that your target market has, and essentially your offer or services can be a bridge to their desire or to solving their pain. So for example, if you're reaching out to, let's say, roadside assistance companies in that example, right? And from my client, right? And you offer SEO. So a pain point that roadside assistant companies have is that they just don't have a lot of calls, right? So imagine, I guess look you could look on the screen here. So imagine that this is this is the roadside assistance company with 0 calls. This is the roadside assistant company with 10 calls. And imagine you basically have a bridge that helps them get to those 10 calls. And that bridge is essentially your services or product. And that's all you're going to be doing in terms of offer and copywriting. But you're just going to use the ammo that you got from the last part and use your product or services as the bridge to solving their pain or helping them get to their desire, right? So for example, take a look at the script, right? This is for real estate groups. Hey Larry, working with other real estate groups, we know how hard it is to stand out and attract qualified buyers. If we could help you beat this company and become the top real estate company in the area without paid ads, would you be interested? This person did this, let me know, right? So obviously the whole format of the cold email doesn't matter, but the whole thing that I'm trying to show you here is that, okay, the real estate group, their pain points is how do they stand out versus everybody else in the industry? Well, if you use our videos, we can help you get to that desire of standing out and becoming the leading real estate group in your industry by using our videos. Our videos is the bridge, the desire is standing out, and they're in the other side of the bridge, which is basically not standing out, right? So that's all we're doing here. We're getting them, our service as a product is the bridge to getting them to that desire. And then next, when it comes to actual copywriting itself, what you're going to do is you're going to keep your copy under 75 words and under a 7th grade reading level. So the reason why I say 75 words is because if you're getting an outbound email message from a stranger, you're not going to want to read, like let's say you got an email from a stranger, right? And it was like 200 words, a whole paragraph worth of text, and you read it and you're like, you take a look at it and you're like, bro, I'm not reading all of this. Like, this is, I don't even know you, and you're sending me this entire paragraph. I'm not reading this. I'm throwing it straight to junk, right? And that's the exact same things that the prospect is going to be doing if you email them an entire MLA format essay. Instead, keep it under 75 words and keep it in a seventh grade reading level. The average reading level in an American is about seventh grade. So if you can keep it under that seventh grade reading level mark, it'll be super easy to read. They can skim it in like 10 to 20 seconds and it won't take up too much of their brain power, right? No links or images in the email itself. If you send a link, if you send an image, Microsoft and Google are going to think you're sending out like spam or phishing stuff. It's not good. Just don't leave it, or just leave it. And then finally, use a soft call to action, right? Don't pitch a call. I'm actually surprised at how many people actually still do this. You do not want to pitch a call in the first email. Again, a great way to actually think about writing cold emails is by thinking to yourself, okay, if I got this email from, if I was a stranger and I got this email that I just wrote here, would I respond to it? And chances are, if it's a no, then you obviously go back and redo and retweak some things. But if it's a yes, then fantastic job, right? But what a lot of people do is like, okay, they put in the first email, hey, do you want to hop on a call, right? And you have to imagine, like, okay, if I got an email from a stranger and he just sends me 3 sentences and he's like, you want to hop on a call? I'm good. Am I gonna say yes? No, I'm gonna say no. Like, bro, what? I don't even know you. Who are you? Why are you pitching a call in the first email, right? So obviously, have a soft call to action. Don't pitch a call immediately. Soft call to action can be something like interested in hearing more or open to learning more, right? It's super, super easy to say yes to, but at the same time, you're not asking for a call immediately, right? So for scripts itself, just follow this format. The first line is going to be like the reason why you're reaching out. So whether you're doing personalization, whether you're doing a pain point, or just overall reason why you're reaching out, a offer is the second line, case study is the third line, and a call to action is the fourth line. This format has never, ever, ever, ever failed. Like ever. This, I know there's like 1,000 ways to write cold email scripts, but this is one of those scripts and formats to where it's never going to go out of style because it just has all the ingredients you need to a very, very valid cold email. The only thing you could probably take out is maybe the pain point, or maybe the first line. That could be like one of the things you could take out, but genuinely, this format's good. So here's an example, right? Say, hey Rick, WMS, which is like warehouse management software, such as Fishbowl and Extensive, have manual billing and add-ons you have to pay extra for. That's like the first line. Like that's like the reason why they're reaching out or a pain point that they might have because they're using one of these WMSs. We provide a better solution that connects smoothly with platforms like Amazon, Shopify, WooCommerce while automating your billing. So we're just talking about what our offer is, right? We partnered with this company. That's a case study. Can I send a quick breakdown of how it works? That's the call to action, right? So reason why you're reaching out, personalization or pain point or first line, offer, case study, call to action. Very, very simple. But again, this never, ever, ever fails, right? So ladies and gentlemen, if you found this video valuable, please press like and subscribe. And if you are a B2B business and you want results like this above, where we help Deepak generate $270,000 in 8 months using cold email, or Matthias from Magnuson Film, book 25 meetings, close 2 deals, then you can press the link below and we can actually book a time, or you can book a time to chat with me and we can see if we're a good fit. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. Peace out.